Peter, a 27-22 defeat this afternoon to Worcester Warriors. Given the fact that we're 17-3 down on the half-hour mark, are you reasonably happy with that?
Yeah, despite losing the game, and at this stage, it is about winning and losing. But I thought the performance was second half certainly was as good as it's been this year at home. Worcester are a top quality team. And for large periods of that game, we had them on the rack, scored some great tries, made some fabulous breaks, and I think really entertained the crowd, both Worcester and Scottish fans alike. It was a great game of rugby, and the balance of play, you don't often get draws, but I thought we were probably better value than a 5-point loss really this afternoon. Really heartbreaking at the end to concede a penalty try from a scrum, and Worcester obviously will go away probably hugely relieved having been down going into the last 20. But yeah, look, it was a great performance from the guys. Bearing in mind we played Worcester 5 or 6 weeks ago and took a thrashing from them. To come back and respond is as much as we could ask them more today. I thought they were brilliant.
I was chatting to Dan Newton earlier. I asked him what was the change after we were 17-3 down, and he thought you changed the tactics up a bit. I mean, can you talk us about that?
Well, we did more of what we said we were going to do in the week. Trying to put some width on the ball and playing. Matt Williams has been just probably the best finisher. Worcester have got a couple of decent finishers themselves. Probably, I think, the best finisher in the league this year. But you've got to give him the ball in space, and we saw in the second half down this right touchline. He makes people look silly. Both in training and in games, and we didn't give him enough ball in the first half. We got some real threats, but we weren't using those threats well enough, and in the second we were able to do that. Mike Donegan on the left wing was outstanding, only came in late. Miles Mantella pulled out of the warm-up and Mike Donegan stepped in, and again the two of them were fresh as daisies at half-time. We said, let's get them the ball, they're great runners, and Mike showed again down the left, breaking tackles on numerous occasions and really giving us some impetus, coupled with guys like Neil Best, one of his best games for the club as far as I can remember, I think, this season. Mark Bright was outstanding and led from the front, and obviously when you play well you get individuals that perform well, and today we had a huge number of those guys perform really well. I thought PJ Gidler offered us some fantastic physicality up front. Our half-backs, Danny Newton and Jamie Stevenson, were brilliant and hustling and bustling. Dan got a turnover under our own posts to starve Worcester of a certain try at one point. The bravery that he showed for such a small guy, it was brilliant. It was really, really a wonderful performance. Just a shame that we're on the wrong end of it. But Ollie Grove made a good point, which we shared in the huddle. It's half-time, isn't it? Half-time in a game that one half's at home, one half's away. It's just a slightly longer half than we're used to. But with 5 points, we're in the game, and we'll absolutely go to 6 ways on Friday with confidence that we can cause a massive upset, because the guys at the end of the game were really disappointed, but really eager to get back out, I think, on Friday and take it to them. So I was really pleased with the reaction of the players coming off the pitch, and they look well up for it already.
The forwards have taken a lot of credit this season, and deservedly so, but the backs really grew into the game this afternoon. Yeah,
it's tough. Our forwards have been incredibly dominant and put us in good positions, but Worcester equally are good in those positions, aren't they? And we looked across the team and noticed that we got some opportunities. Cooper Vuna on this left wing for Worcester is great going forward, but not the greatest in defence, and matched up against Matt Williams, Matt was able to get some space and run around him. So that, for all the strengths that Worcester have, there's obviously frailties in there. Not many, but Jersey showed it when they beat Worcester a few weeks ago, and certainly Bristol showed it last week. So that was a good lesson for us, watching the Bristol video to see how a team beat them, and it was only 7 days ago, and we came within a minute or two of beating them today, and that would have been historic. But ultimately, like I say, it's half-time. Whether we'd have won the game by 2 or lost by 5, essentially it's a score in it, and we go to 6 ways with all to play for, so happy with that.
Were a couple of their tries early doors maybe preventable? I mean, as you said, Mike Donegan and Matt played fantastically well, but maybe preventable tries there? Yeah,
we did that. Our first 20 minutes were poor, but in many ways, in attack and defence, we were just making errors. But we put that down to a bit of nerves. The warm-up wasn't necessarily the best. I think there was a lot of nerves and anxiety leading into the game, and we slowly settled in, like you mentioned. We grew into it in half-time. We sort of looked around and hadn't played particularly well, but we were in the game. And the guys, like, let's, you know, we can do this. You know, we can, as long as we put things together, and we definitely did that much better in the second half, and consequently, you know, got ourselves our noses in front late on. So yeah, plenty to work on. But look, you know, the next 6 days between us and Worcester, there's probably not going to be much training going on. It's a case of studying the tape, seeing where they're weak, seeing where we were strong, and both teams, like a game of chess, working out where to go next week. So plenty of homework for the coaches to do, plenty of rest for the players. But I think if we can be that emotional come next Friday, we'll be in a good spot.
I feel there's a kind of a new sense of belief emanating from the squad. You know, maybe before the game, as you said, they were a bit nervous, a bit potentially overawed, but coming off at full time today, you know, I think they feel that they can really match up to this Worcester side. Yeah,
we spoke all week from a coaching perspective about them being human. You know, it's a funny thing to say, but they're human beings that can win and lose games. They're just very good. They don't lose often, but they do lose, and they are vulnerable. And we saw in that game, you know, they obviously the pressure's on them. They got huge ambitions, and you know, coming away from home first leg, they came unstuck a couple of times. 3 yellow cards, could have been more actually. I thought, you know, some of the decisions, we won't talk too much about that, but 3 yellow cards, they were under the cosh for large periods of the game. And I definitely believe now, more so, the players believe that they are human going into the second leg. Perhaps it took 20 minutes to work out that they are human, and then we got our game on. But you know, it is what it is. Yeah, it's going to be really tough. You know, Worcester at home are very difficult, and you know, they have probably the luxury of maybe rotating around some of their squad. Obviously Chris Pennell was injured, maybe he comes back, but perhaps we'll get a couple of fresh legs into our squad for next week, and go all guns blazing up to 6 ways and try and cause a massive upset.
2 tries for Mark Bright, try machine, tries number 25-26 of the season. Jamie Stevenson nipped in for a try just down here, but probably the pick of the tries was the one, Jamie Stevenson's inside ball for Mark Bright just down here. That was a lovely wee move.
Something we've been practicing for about 5 weeks, and finally pulled it out of the playbook this afternoon, and just rewards, I think, between them. You know, Jamie and Mark have been 2 of the most consistent performers for us over the year, and again today were brilliant. But yeah, that's you know, as Worcester have moves off the training park, which cut us open at times, that was certainly a good one for us. There were some good tries in there, all in all, you know, and some really good rugby. So look, yeah, we're pleased, but we're only at half time.
Well done today.
Thank you.